Welcome to the Out on a Limb podcast. We are all interconnected to a greater web of consciousness. Our aim is to open your mind to a new world through having open-minded discussions about what we perceive our reality to be.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out on a Limb podcast with your hosts, Will and Allison and Samantha, where we're going to do another round of oracle card readings for you for January.
Please.
So we are recording this, of course, in December, so we don't know what's going to happen in January, but we're going to let you know what the cards are advising. Let's see. Okay, so our first round will be a general question about what to expect for January. Mm-hmm. So that's our intention, what to expect for January, and maybe how to approach January energies.
Okay.
Yes? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be using, I'm not going to go first. I'm going to let one of you two.
Why not?
Yeah,
Oh, you want me to go
he
first?
went first. I went first.
No.
It's your turn.
It's because I'm in the middle.
First.
All right, I'll go first, I guess.
Stuck in the middle.
I'm going to use a new deck that I haven't used before.
Yay.
It is the Fairies Oracle, and in a future episode, which we've already recorded, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about this book, this card deck, and the fairies. But that's the one I'm going to use. And what's interesting about these cards, though, they just have a picture and a name. They don't have a word to riff off of or a phrase or anything like that. So when we were talking about this episode, I said, well, I have my book here because I need to probably look at the book as a crutch because I don't have anything to riff off of. And she's like, Allison, you can do it. You just need to
Listen to
tune
the
into the
voice.
card. Tune into the card.
And the card that was faced up had a face that went with that voice.
Yeah.
Looked like a curmudgeon. Just going, you can read us, Allison.
You have a lot of faith in me. I usually have to have a little something to start with besides just a picture, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. And if I get stuck, I'll use my book.
I love that.
I told you I would.
Okay,
You
well,
called me out.
I wasn't listening, though.
You called me out. Let's see. Come on, be a good one that's easy for me to tune into. Lord have mercy.
Oh, God.
So when I was looking over these cards, holy cow, I got goosebumps just now.
Oh, well,
I'm
there
not going
you
to
go.
have a problem here. Anyway. My guides are telling me, right, that I can do it? Anyway, when I was looking over these cards and getting to know the fairies and things like that over Thanksgiving, when I had a lot of free time, I was going through the cards, and this book actually helps you to do that. It tells you, gives you some activities to do to get used to the cards and the faces and all that sort of stuff, and their energy. And it tells you to pick this card or that card and blah, blah, blah. So I was looking through the book, and I saw this card, and Will put it up in a minute, and it's called Himself. Well, who does that remind you of? If that doesn't remind you of Jesus or a Jesus-like figure,
Well, I also saw Archangel Michael, too.
or Michael, somebody,
I don't know why.
Angelic, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. To me, when I first saw this one, it just struck me as Jesus, and it's called
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah, that's what makes me think himself. Yeah.
Holy,
Don't hide it in there.
oh, darn it. Well, now I don't know where
Here
it
we
went.
go.
Hand it to me and I will find it as
Thank
you
you.
go through.
It's somewhere in the middle there.
I think it's on that pile.
Wow,
the top.
okay. That to me is a powerful card.
Maybe.
By January, I think the first wave of ascension is going to be underway. I know it is. And the energy on this planet is going to be exponentially higher. The Jesus type of card or that kind of energy, you know, we've talked about Christ consciousness coming back to the planet or Jesus' second coming. That's really what ascension is all about. So to me, this card represents Christ consciousness entering the planet. I understand the Christian aspect and what they think is going to happen. And a lot of Christians do believe that Jesus is actually going to come back in physicality. I don't really feel that. I think it's what he embodied, which is the Christ consciousness that exists within all of us. And that card is super significant to me to tell me that that energy will have entered in the planet at that point in January, and we're going to feel it. We're all going to feel it. We're going to know it. And at that point, things are going to start happening really, really quickly, because the second wave of ascension will be on the heels of that first wave and will come easier because the planet's energy is rising, and it's just going to continue to ripple and affect people, and they're going to awaken in mass numbers at that point. So that was super significant. Thank you for having trust in me to pull the right card, and thank you to my team for, that was
Make sure you thank your fairies because they're the one that put that card there for you.
correct. Thank you, fairy
It sounds like
guides.
she's accepting her, like, my Emmy award. Thank you so
Right.
much. I love it. And
I can't do mediumship. And yet,
But I have to remember that it's a team effort with my guides. I have to
you're not
remember
alone.
that they're not going to leave me hanging out in the wind.
that's what you tell me all the time. You told me that all the time. Oh, your team isn't going to ever leave you by
And that-
yourself.
Right, and that was the
but yet-
point. That was the point of them pulling the right card. They knew that I would be able to explain that. So that's wild. Okay,
that was beautiful.
so which of you guys wants to go next?
You want me to go? I don't know. I'll flip a coin. All
You go, honey, because we'll go clockwise.
right, that's fine.
Since
This
you
one,
get to go
this one
first a
popped
lot.
out as I was shuffling. It just fell to the floor, so that's the one we're pulling. I'll put the picture and all the stuff up on the screen.
And which deck is this?
This is, I'm sorry. This is Starseed Oracles, which we've drawn from before.
What's funny?
It's just the way he's doing things. It's
I
just-
don't know. I'm out of sorts.
Are you
I
out of
guess.
sorts?
I am a little bit. Interesting. So the card says, "Lost lands, soul, memories, and gifts. You've done this before."
Ooh,
So let's see.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
What am I getting off of this card? Oh, this is general for January. Is that correct? We had a whole discussion of why I don't conscious channel before we started this podcast, and they're going to be looking at me as if I should be conscious channeling. So maybe here we go.
Oh, goodness.
Well, all the Android users are going to be like, I don't want to hear this now.
Right, exactly. They're clicking off.
Android users, yeah.
The ones in India, by
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
You need to watch our, well, that's coming up.
Yeah,
I don't know if this will air before or after.
No, this will air before
Okay.
our party episode.
that's funny.
You'll get the inside joke. Let's see here. All right, Lost Lands. Well, January, you can look at it a couple different ways. But January as a new beginning of the calendar year. But I think what I'm getting is kind of along the lines of Allison and what she was saying with this Christ consciousness, but really it's more about an evolution of consciousness for everyone. And that this aspect of remembering and memories, and even as this says, soul memories, it is understanding who you really are and where you've come from, because that's where you are going, that's where you're headed, is to bring that back into physicality, bring those memories back into physicality. It's to bring that aspect of self, that hidden aspect of self, as it is a lost land that you're seeking, this aspect of self that has been hidden for so long. It is to bring it now here, out into the world, beginning in January. The time is past where you no longer need to hide it. It isn't lost. It's actually right there with you. It is to stand in that vision of self that you've had with you all this life and truly honor it. Allow it to come forward and be who you are in this perspective. And that's the way it should be said, is perspective. The only one that it truly matters to is you. It doesn't. It isn't your being. That perspective isn't for anyone else. It is truly for yourself, to find yourself, to be no longer in a lost land of mystery. And that's what this life has been so far, is a mystery. And now it's time to bring all of that here for you to play in, a new world, a new realm. It isn't to think of it as, well, have I ascended yet or not? No, it's to play in the space of newness, of your own new life, your new presence here in the world. And it's new because it's remembering. It's bringing that forward from the depths of where it has been hidden for so long. And what January and the energy of January is to bring is that revealing to self and bringing that to the surface so that all can see it, but primarily for yourself. So when you look in the mirror, that you find yourself in a place of relationship for self, and that you are no longer lost. And what you see in the mirror is someone that has a perspective of their life moving forward, and understanding that all will be okay, no matter which direction it goes, and no matter what is placed upon that path. You have the strength to overcome it. And it is by the, back to what Allison has said, is the Christ conscious energy that is going to be fulfilling in this time to come, this presence of Source, this presence of the Creator. And it is to have that revealed in yourself, because you yourself are a creator, you yourself are a divine being, you yourself are part of that Christ consciousness, and that is what is to be revealed to all that stand before you. And it is to walk in that presence, and truly for yourself and no one else. There.
Lovely.
There.
Wonderful.
Way to go.
Referring to our little noisemakers we have
So.
for the party episode.
That was pretty cool.
That was amazing.
Look at you go doing your thing.
See?
See?
Okay, I'm pushing everybody else's buttons today, so now it's my turn.
Can you push that over just to make sure it doesn't fall?
Oh, you don't have a.
It's
thing
good to
for it.
push
Okay.
buttons. It challenges
No,
us
yeah.
to get out of our comfort zone.
Yep, exactly.
Challenge
All
accepted.
right.
Okay. All right, so I'm doing this from the Trust Your Vibes Oracle cards, like that. All right. What was the question again? It's not
What to
bad.
expect for January, or how to approach the January energies.
Okay. The whole time while they're talking, I'm sitting there going, okay, mine's going to come from left field and not relate at all with what they're saying.
It always relates.
I know, but I was thinking, no, it won't this time.
But it's 3 different perspectives of the same message, which is what I love.
okay.
Because again, our guides know what they're doing.
Well, I think
Oh,
this
I'm
has
supposed
to
to be
do
writing-
more with these two.
Supposed to be writing
Because it
these
was
down.
the card is instant feedback.
Ooh.
So I felt like they just got instant feedback on their trying themselves with this stuff. Anyway, okay, so instant feedback in relationship to January and what?
Just January
Just
energies.
Of 2025.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's and feedback loop is what's kind of coming into my head. It's going to be really, oh wow, that is wild. So when we're looking at like oracle cards or tarot cards, it's not always just the direct meaning, but also what symbols draw your eyes and all this kind of stuff. And I see number 9, so I'm just going to say look around the 9th and see just if anything occurs. But it's like you're going to be in this space where it's like be careful, like we're talking about moving into that creatorhood, that like this is who we are, but we're getting the permission slips to own it and be that and so forth. And the thing that you have to watch out for is that, as like with great power comes great responsibility. So as you move into this this time where you're going, yeah, I want that. I want to create my reality around me and all this kind of stuff. is that timing of what you're asking for and what you get is going to be occurring much more quickly, more profoundly, which means that's good and bad. Because it means, while the stopgap is off for you to like move into the things that are more what you desire, the negative is also occurring, and we're used to the negative. So they're kind of doing, it's almost like there's a warning here to be really, really conscious and careful, because there's going to be a lot of resistance, a lot's going on in January, especially early January, that there's going to be a lot of resistance to, and just realize you are creating that resistance along with countless people beside you. And that's not a good thing. It's never a good thing to be in resistance. So instead, switch to the positive. And the positive is not, well, I really hate this thing positively. It's that you've got to move into that space of, I trust that everything is going to work for the best intent for the collective and for myself. It's to move into the space of trust and gratitude and so forth. Yep. That's just what I got.
Good. That was awesome. Because that's practical stuff. You know what I mean? Ours was a little bit more energetic in terms of what's coming, but yours is practical too.
Very
because of what might be happening on ground level. And I like what you said about resistance, because I think a lot of times, at least I didn't understand what resistance meant. But if you're angry about something, then you're in resistance to what is. If you're having a hard time, or you're frustrated, or you don't like what's occurring, it's because you're in resistance to what is. And so it doesn't mean you have to like everything that's happening, but we need to come to a place of neutrality. And the collective has said neutrality doesn't mean, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Or putting your head in the sand and pretending that you don't care. It means that you are more objective, understanding from the divine picture that all is okay, that both sides are needed, that polarity is a part of the human existence, and it can never not be.
Necessary for growth.
Right. So anything that's happening is happening for a purpose. So when we get out of the resistance to, I don't want this to be happening, I don't like this, we instead look at it as, okay, this thing is happening. What does it mean for me? How can I learn from this? Or how can it help me show more of who I really am? Or even pulling back again and looking at it as, okay, this is happening because we have both sides, and that's just the way it is, and I don't have to take sides in whatever the situation is, right?
Yep.
Whether it's you and another person, whatever it is. Right, okay, good. That was really good, Samantha. I like that. What was your card?
What was interesting is you said, does your card have a 9 on it, you said?
Yeah.
Well, 2025.
Is that a 9 here?
It's a 9.
Ooh, it is.
2025.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
Other interesting things.
I was just going
Things
to
that
write
make-
down.
Things that make you go,
I just
Lost
think there's so
lands.
much of, like, especially we're going through all the retrogrades right now. I think and everybody, well, not everybody, because we're not, but a lot of people are moving into that concern, coming up to the whole presidential
Yeah.
stuff and all
Yep.
that. And I think it's just, there's a lot of moodiness, a lot of negativity, but we've been ascending upwards. Like, we're moving more into our power and stuff. And it's kind of like, you can't have it both ways. You
Right.
gotta step up and be prepared to, what is it? Like when I channeled Baby's like, humans are so messy with their energy. We're
Right.
very, very messy with it.
yeah.
And the other interesting thing is that, when you're in resistance and you're venting about it, you're affecting a lot of other people in your sphere.
Yeah.
So it's not just about you anymore. You're not in your own little bubble. You never are. So whatever energy you're exuding is infiltrating everybody around you and the rooms and walking out in front of you and all of that kind of stuff. So just remember that you don't have to be Pollyanna and you don't have to always be in a good mood, but be energy responsible, right? And
Yep.
we've talked about that before.
Yep.
Be responsible with your energy.
Energy hygienics.
Right.
Are you, what is our question about this time? As somebody in the audience.
So this one will be specific to one or more people in the audience, something that you're going through, or experiencing.
And I need to go back and look at the comments and see if anybody's ever identified.
They have.
They have?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I don't get back around to the comments for a while. So that's good to know.
Yeah, some people have said that.
Because boy, what I'm going to say is really going to affect someone out there.
Uh-oh. Hope that's a good thing. All right, so mine is my favorite deck, Soul's Journey. Let me write that down, Soul's Journey. And the card is, Lord have mercy. Grief. Grief.
Another zinger.
Well, I think last month I had guilt.
Oh.
And now I have grief.
What are you going through?
The stages of,
Right.
what is it? Death or, yes.
Wow. Okay. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Okay, so what are we just now talking about?
Yeah.
A lot of people are feeling grief about the things that are happening on this planet, and it's understandable that you would feel that way. It is, from a 3D perspective. But again, without grief, then we don't know joy, because you can't understand joy in isolation. And so it's time again to address those things. If you didn't do it in December when we talked about that, about releasing that baggage moving into December, it's time again to let it go. You're never going to live in this 3D world without those, what we would want to label negative emotions, because we're in a polarity system, duality. It has to exist. So this is acknowledging someone out there or several people out there who are still feeling some grief, or perhaps this is an isolated type of incident. Maybe somebody has passed or transitioned and you're feeling some grief, or maybe something happened over the holidays and you're feeling some grief, not just because of what's happening on our planet. It's appropriate to experience grief, and it's okay to allow those emotions to move through your body. Emotions, again, are energy in motion. And so you have to let that come through. It's not about getting rid of those emotions, the negative emotions, or even the positive emotions. It's about allowing them to process through your body, honoring them, then giving gratitude for that, being with it, holding space for it, and then allowing it to move on and out so that you can then come back into balance. Again, we really aren't meant to stay in the high exuberant emotions either for long. That's why you have those mountaintop experiences and then you come back down to the valley into this more neutral place, balanced place. So it isn't about, again, trying to be joyful in all things or not experience the negative, but it's about allowing those to process through and then coming back into a space of neutrality and recognizing when it's, everybody has their own timeline for grief. And this isn't to say it should take 3 days or a week or a month. Depends on the circumstance too. But you can start to recognize when you've been in the trenches for longer than you feel comfortable with, or maybe some people are concerned about you. So if it starts to drag too long and is unhealthy, or people are recognizing that it's unhealthy, reach out and get help. Reach out, and we're not meant to do this life alone. We're meant to be in community and be in relationship, and that's how we learn and grow, and that's how we support each other. So reach out for help. We're available, all of us, even if it's just an email and you need a word of advice or encouragement or something, or reach out to somebody that's near you. Don't allow those emotions to take over, okay?
Wow. All right.
Where's my box?
And you didn't have to read
and that was
bullpen or anything. You just ripped off of guilt.
Right.
okay.
Way to go.
So 2 cards were stuck together.
Off guilt last month, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Go.
Yeah.
Guilt was last month and grief this month. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I know. I just said as I pulled, I thought I had pulled one.
Bargaining,
I thought I had pulled one card, and it was actually 2 cards stuck together.
What is the name of that one?
This is the universe has your back.
Is that the one you have?
It is.
Okay.
Which one did you think I had?
I just get that one confused with Trust Your Vibe. Sorry. How's your back? Okay.
So the first one that I pulled up was I choose love no matter what. And then the second one is when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see.
Read it again.
When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. Yes. So, all right. So what do I about?
They seem to go together.
Right. That's why. Well,
Yeah, they really do.
They really do. So, choosing love no matter what, and then certainty and faith. Whew. I'll sum up certainty and faith in one word.
Takes the task on. He's like,
Right.
"Ooh."
Right. Certainty and faith. Sum it up in one word. That'd be trust. Right. And when you're trusting, and this is obviously for somebody that's out there that's struggling right now, either trusting in themselves or trusting in a circumstance that they're in. But when you can surrender yourself into that trust, and then surround yourself with the love of the I am, that I am presence that you are, then really that's where you change the world. And that might be a small change, it might be a huge change, but that's how you change the world. So it's looking at oneself and realizing, where do I need to really trust myself? Do I need to trust myself in what I'm saying? Do I need to trust myself in what I'm doing? Do I need to trust myself in what I'm how I'm interacting with someone? It's really kind of taking an inventory of your own action of trust. That's that certainty and faith. Where are you placing certainty and faith? Are you externally placing it, or are you internally placing it? If you're internally placing it, this is where trust is. This is where the whole evolution of change takes place, because when you really go inward and trust all things through you and the I am, that love that you are, then the world stands no chance. You change it all right before your eyes. But if you're putting that certainty and faith and trust externally into someone else, into something else, into other things, that strips away the power, the faith of your own presence, and this is where you're struggling. So it's reversing all of what you're seeing in front of you to bring it back inward to self, to anchor it into self. And that's what January is really for, is to begin that new year by anchoring yourself back into your own divine, back into your own trust, back into your own strength, so that you can take on the challenges of whatever might come in the following months. And it isn't to place any of it externally, it's to place it all within and surround yourself with that I am presence, that I am love, that certainty and faith that you own your own experiences and no one else does. And do not give that away, and allow yourself to have the power to trust all actions, all words through your own I am presence.
Lovely. And I like how it has an I on it,
Yeah.
That was really cool.
representing the I am.
We sure are making this complicated for ourselves. Like,
No,
I'm
I like
amazed they're
this.
not falling.
I know, right?
We
This
need
is
like
great.
the thing that holds the cards up in place just in case, but it's working.
It's working.
Okay. All right. So this is for
animals.
someone in the group
Animals.
or a couple someones. Aminals.
Animals.
Aminals. Okay. Oh, God, I won't tell you what I thought I just saw. Inappropriate. Okay. It's just my
This
eyes.
is for
Okay.
the post show.
The adult show at 9
I
o'clock.
know. What is it? Like, I am just not seeing things the right way.
We'll figure it out. We'll give you a reading later.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Before I even say anything. Okay, so this is, it's just making me laugh. Okay, there's a monkey.
Ooh.
And for some reason, monkey is about ingenuity. And yeah, we have a bunch of monkeys that are loose. Oh, God, I
Yes.
haven't even heard about
Oh,
how
did they
they're dealing
find
with
them?
dealing with the cold. That's got to be
Here in
awful.
South Carolina.
Yeah, so for me, I'm thinking escapism. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, they were ingenious to get out, weren't
Oh,
they?
absolutely.
Okay, so it says the situation calls for adaptability and innovation, whatever it is you're going through. And then the main thing that comes into my mind is stop monkeying around with the situation. And I'm saying that because, and this is going to be really specific. I mean, I think this is for one person. It could be for more, but just know you're kind of screwing around with another person's feelings. It's like being on the edge and going back and forth and kind of your indecisiveness, you're not sure what to do. It's kind of being careless and it's affecting someone else. And I know this is talking about ingenuity and adaptability and innovation, but I'm getting the words that you're needing certainty. You're needing it's almost like knowing how it's already going to go. Like, people say, well, I don't want to invest in a relationship if it's not going to work out. Well, you can't know that. Like, it's,
Right.
and so you're in this space where you're kind of going, if I knew how this was going to work out, then it would be fine. And all of that is, it's going back to like faith, trust, all that kind of stuff. You're not stepping into it with the idea that you can't make a wrong move. Like, it's all for your benefit, whatever you choose. But it's also that whole discernment and being able to really stop and check in with yourself and what is it you really desire. If there's a question, a hesitancy, you're not ready for this. So step back because you're holding someone else's life up. You are not the only person. God, I'm sorry, this is tough. But you're not the only person meant for this person. There's other people out there that they could be crossroads connecting with and having a life. So kind of like push shit or get off the pot kind of thing,
Yeah.
So this is like tough love, really is, and I'm sorry, like I have to just go, like the card just starts the whole thing.
Well, we're
and
not
then-
calling anybody out. They'll recognize themselves or not.
Yeah. So but no, it's all being said with love, and it's what you need to hear.
Yeah.
So that you can, it's like that permission slip so that you can go, I wasn't checking in. And I'm not saying you're going to leave them high and dry or anything. It's just that you need to dig down, get that certainty, and then make a decision.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Excellent.
Yeah, sorry, kicking ass there, taking names.
Excellent advice. And I meant to bring this up in a different podcast. And I just want to throw this out there about December 3rd. December 3rd, there was a lot of chatter.
Oh yeah, did anything happen?
And this will be airing at the end of December, I believe. No, I think it's on
No.
New Year's Day. I think this
Yeah,
think
this will be New
ends
Year's
up-
Day.
Yeah. So I wonder, think back to December 3rd, and did you guys see anything extra in the skies? Because there was a lot of chatter from various sources actually that weren't related, about looking to the skies, about possible sightings and things like that. And I did see some video footage recently where there were what they were calling drones flying over various locations.
Oh, yeah.
in patterns and different things like that.
Yeah, and I didn't know whether to believe that because I was watching on TikTok. But I
We
didn't know
use
whether to believe
discernment,
that.
right? I don't know either, but I'm just saying there were some pieces of video that showed some things. So I wonder if you all noticed anything.
Well, I saw one that this was definitely from somebody who goes out and looks at the star.
Yeah.
Like, she showed her telescope set up, and she knows the skies. She's been doing this for a while, and it showed. I can't remember if she's looking towards Jupiter or something. I can't remember what she was looking towards. And the thing is, it was like the star, or like the planet, whatever. It was doing like a star. It was going in and out and in and out like this, and strange, just really strange movements. And she's like, "This isn't a plane." And then she moved her telescope over, and it showed a plane. And she goes, "Okay, so this is supposed to be."
Right.
It says here, I'm supposed to be looking at a planet, and I
Right.
thought it was Jupiter. But what she was seeing was this weird, and then you would see this little black spot over here.
Yep.
And then you would see this again. And the thing is, there's nothing in the sky that does what this was like. It was pulsar, like kind of pulsating. And she's like, "Anybody can tell me, because I know I've been looking at this
Wow.
and I don't know what it is." And so she went out the next night hoping to see it again, and it was cloudy. So she couldn't catch it. She was going, so I don't know if she I think it would have been last night if she was able to get out there again. But it was really like an anomaly.
Wow.
I saw one lady that seemed really credible, and I think she was in New Jersey, and she said there was some kind of bright drone stuff going on from sunset, and then it just never went away. And like at 1 a.m. she checked, it was still there. Like 5 a.m. she checked, it was still there.
Drones can't hang in the sky that long.
Right, and when she woke up, it was still there. And then as the sun came up, it went back the way it came from. I mean, it looked pretty convincing, and she seemed convincing, but I mean, we don't know for sure. But there were some.
But the whole what we've heard the chatter be is that it's going to. Did I say that in the correct English? But where it's supposed to be something that is so shocking that none of us can
comprehend.
So I think the drone pattern thing I was seeing and how it was kind of dropping down and stuff like that. We are also so jaded now.
I also think right now there's a lot of people that are, because of the whole, the hearings and all that stuff. So there's a lot more that's
awareness.
There's a more awareness, but I think there's also a lot of pranksters that are out there taking drones and flying them around and cloaking them in certain things to make them look like whatever objects to deceive. Because, but I think, they're doing it.
Those drones are tiny. They're not that.
Somebody said there was.
Have you seen actual like agricultural drones?
Well, are they as big as a car?
Yeah,
but
somebody said there was one as big as a car.
But those are for I can't imagine somebody taking. Well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is, they may be doing it just to play pranks, but really what that's doing is it's bringing more awareness to people to look in the sky.
Yeah.
So than you had before. Just like what the Zeta would tell you, well, how often do you look at the sky? How come I don't see any UFOs? Well, how often do you look in the sky? It's kind of, to me, it's kind of the inverse. So, they're playing pranks, some of them with actual drones, big or small, but yet it's drawing your eyes to the sky. So there's more chances to actually see something. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
That's an interesting, Yeah, I'll just scan through the videos to see if there's anything that sort of, I don't know. And half the time it's fun just to read the comments. I have got to get off of this stuff because I need to, there's so much other stuff that I need to be doing. But, so it'll be interesting because I stopped, or I developed part of my discussion with this group experience thing that I do around this whole thing that people are talking about. And, and it's like, look, it's irresponsible for me not to address this, to not bring it up. And this is what they're saying. At the same time, disclaimer, who knows, is this happening in another timeline? Is this happening, like only certain people are seeing this? Or, I hate those disclaimers because it's like, show me or not. I want to see the real stuff. It's but there's all we're learning that what we perceive as reality is so much more multidimensional and that it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it is important. You bring up an important point, and it's easy to say this, but it's hard to put it in practice, which is everyone's perspective is different. Everyone's contract is different. You're literally having a different reality than the person next to you. And so you could see something in the sky, or somebody sees something and you don't see anything because it isn't for you in your contract to see it.
just like we had the other night when we did and I think we've talked about this on a previous podcast, when we did the CE5 experience. And we had 7 people outside, and they're all kind of looking in the sky, and nobody really saw anything, but yet I was able to capture something, and you were able to capture something that really is truly, I can't explain it. I mean, that to me, I can tell when it's a lens flare. I can tell when it's an airplane on a long exposure. I can tell when it's something that has flown across the screen or whatever. This wasn't that. And it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
And it's so I have to take pause and go, what is this? I can't explain it. So it might be something that is outside of our reality point, because I didn't see it when it was being captured on the screen. It wasn't in the sky. It wasn't on the camera or on the phone. It only showed up after it rendered and came up. And for you, kind of the same thing. So
Well, the other date is December 13th, and we are not there yet. We're taping this
13th or 18th?
Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Is what I saw. It also might be the 18th. And so we don't know what's going to happen on the 13th because we're not there yet here where we are taping. So
The sun's going to come up.
Of
I'll have a
course,
day,
of
and then the
course.
sun's going to go down, and then I'm going to go sleep. So
But if anything interesting happens in your
Will's
world,
nailed that one.
let us know.
Yeah.
Because again, we're a planet of 8 billion people. Not everybody's going to have the same experience. So I might say, oh, that day passed with nothing extraordinary, but somebody else might have had something extraordinary. So keep us posted in the comments as to what happened.
Yeah.
Keep us posted in the comments also if this resonated with you, if you appreciated any of that, if it made sense. And hopefully it was helpful.
And you can reply anonymously if it's okay. There's nothing to be ashamed of. This was you.
Or email us.
Or
and nobody will know,
seriously, or email.
if you need to.
And I think this is going to, we may end up needing to get more cards.
Cards, different
Yes.
perspectives.
Yeah. I mean,
Fists of joy.
we've been through them a couple, and granted, there's 1,000 cards to pick from, but yeah, just
Sorry, feeling stale to
different
Will.
flavors. That's all.
It really doesn't matter because the message is going to come
Right,
through
right.
no
No, I
matter
get
what
it.
deck. But in case
I
you
get
guys are getting bored, feel free to send us some new cards if you want to.
And I got a new deck coming to me.
Do
They
you?
got me for Christmas, the Lightseers deck.
Well, Christmas is not here. Maybe we will get some Christmas decks, some new decks for Christmas.
Yes.
Put that
Maybe.
on your wish list. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you would, please. Hit the notification bell and subscribe and like and all of that stuff. And have a marvelous 2025, a happy new year. I hope that you rang in the new year with loved ones and fun and fellowship and good food. And we'll see you next week.
Well done.
Bye.
See ya.